We made it through round one of the winter weather. Round two on the way. When does it get here? I'll let you know in the forecast.
That's where he may have taken advantage of my daughter.
He's accused of sexually abusing several students at a school for the deaf.
Yes, point blank. It's all on there in writing.
Why one family says their daughter likely will not get justice.
And back in Utah after serving as our country's ambassador to Russia.
It was, when I left to take the job, mission impossible. And we tried to make it a mission possible.
But will John Huntsman Jr. make a return to the governor's mansion? Fox 13's Bob Evans is getting answers.
The world is not meant for people with disability. You know, it's just a hard truth.
And after struggling for years and sacrificing so much for his country,
You know, something like this is going to change my life.
one veteran is getting the surprise of a lifetime. Our top story tonight, snow taking over parts of the Wasatch Front. I know I woke up to it this morning, and I won't tell you what I said when I saw it.
I saw the same thing. Plenty of snow. Let's check in with meteorologist Breck Bolton in the Weather Center. Breck, are we done with that snow?
Well, for now, things are beginning to wind down across northern Utah. We're still finding a little bit of lake enhanced showers impacting areas coming south of the lake over the Oquirrh Mountains, west side of Salt Lake Valley into Tooele County. But let's take a look for today, where the valley's really getting most of the snow as far as accumulations are concerned. As we look in Utah County, 6 inches. As we look in Salem, Cottonwood Heights picking up 3 inches. Park City with 3 inches as well. We turn towards Cache Valley, 2 inches. This is a report for snowfall here over the past 24 hours. Battlefield with 1 inch. Brighton only 3 inches. Temperatures today, cold, 30s and 40s across northern Utah. As that cold front settled in across southern Utah, temperatures also dropping. 30s, 20s, currently single digits in Bear River. We turn towards eastern Utah. We've got 20s and 30s as well. It's going to be a cold night as that cold front sweeping through. We're still finding some showers across southeastern Utah. That's the focus right now as we look from Page up towards Moab. But again, those lingering showers across the north as well. We'll begin to see a break for now, but we have round 2 of snow on the way. When does that hit? I'll let you know.
Thanks, Breck. And of course, this cold snap is here just in time for Halloween, right?
That's right. Fox 13's Elle Thomas continues our weather coverage tonight.
You can definitely feel the cold in the air, and it's not going to go away anytime soon. These temperatures are going to keep dropping. We could even break record lows.
Basically, we have the balloon.
It's a busy day at the National Weather Service.
And what I'll do is just release it, and there it goes.
Outside, they're tracking current weather patterns.
So the information that we get from this goes into our computer models.
Inside,
So this is a trough, which is a storm system. It is below normal for this time of year.
a look at Utah's chilly future.
Our next storm system, the really cold one, is coming in from northern Canada. Here you can see it. It's right here. So that's Utah. So that's where the storm is by Tuesday afternoon, right over us.
The cold snap likely bringing a hard freeze, continuing our early dose of winter.
We will be approaching, if not reaching record low temperatures and low max temperatures both Tuesday and Wednesday.
With low temps and lots of snow sticking around, they do have one piece of advice.
I would suggest that people have their winter weather clothes ready, but it's going to be a gradual warm up.
Halloween is coming up this Thursday, so right on the heels of this cold snap, the National Weather Service says this year they would recommend more of a Michelin Man costume. In Salt Lake City, Elle Thomas, Fox 13 News, Utah.
North Salt Lake police have a man in custody accused of murdering his mother. Police arrested Jeffrey Langford last night after responding to a possible suicide. Langford told police his mother shot herself in front of him. They say Langford posted multiple Facebook Live videos after the shooting showing the scene. Langford eventually told police he shot his mother after she shot herself. He says he didn't want her to be in pain. He's being held without bail. Tonight in a Fox 13 investigation, a 28-year-old man who used to be a teacher's aide at a school for deaf children in Utah is now facing multiple rape and sexual assault charges.
Over the past 6 years, at least 5 families say he inappropriately touched or contacted their underage daughters. Fox 13's Adam Herbetz shows us why at least one of those families say they may never get justice.
Well, Brian, Kirsten, this man, Tyler Jex, was already getting ready to go to trial in a couple months, accused of asking a 15-year-old girl for sex in exchange for a PlayStation. Now he's facing 10 new felony charges based on a job he was fired from in 2013.
Police say for at least a year, unspeakable things happened inside this school for deaf children in Salt Lake City. most of it in the girl's bathroom.
As a family, it was a lot to take in. It really pissed me off.
This man, Tyler Jex, was a teacher's aide from 2012 to 2013. Over the past 6 years, 2 girls have come forward saying he raped them. Another says she was sexually assaulted in class, and another says he simply asked her for sex on Facebook in exchange for a PS4.
If you actually seen a picture of this kid, he doesn't look like he can hurt a fly.
This man is the father of a 5th girl.
My wife was closely monitoring her activity, and she came across these messages, and he was pretty much jogging her memory. Hey, do you remember the time we were on the bus and I reached underneath your shirt and groped your breast? They also mentioned if they wanted to do it again.
His daughter has a hearing disability and a serious learning disability. The parents say that's why when they took the messages to police, her statement was not clear enough to move forward with the case.
Years later, and we're finding out that this happened, and it's terrible. You'll have all the mental capacity of a grade school, always.
I'm looking for Tyler. I don't know if you'd be interested in talking to us about your case.
Tyler is also deaf, and I do not speak American Sign Language. Still, he made it very clear he wanted me to leave.
He has a monster side that no one's seen.
He says in his mind the Facebook messages are a confession, but if that's not enough, he hopes police can give his daughter another interview.
Someone that fully understands her disability, that can simplify an interview for her. We are waiting. Not much else that I think I can do.
David says he understands he may never get justice for his daughter, but if this man is convicted for the crimes he committed against the other 4 girls, hopefully it will feel like justice. As for the school, he says initially he was happy with the way they handled the case, but now he is skeptical. With so many victims, if they did enough to supervise him. Reporting in studio, Adam Herbetz, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Still to come, a Utah County veteran has received a special gift for his service to our country. We'll take you to the special ceremony.
And he said, your job has just gotten infinitely more difficult.
He left Utah politics to play an important role in American diplomacy.
But it was done for a reason. It was done because of election meddling in 2016, which was very real.
What former Governor John Huntsman Jr. plans to do now that he's back home.
The Simpsonian, where memorable Simpsons moments come to life. The Simpsons.
Weeknights on Fox 13.
Blood alcohol is 0.06.
This guy is a safety risk to others.
I could have stopped him.
The Resident returns with all new episodes Tuesdays after the World Series on Fox.
Dr. Shirota created Yakult probiotic drink over 80 years ago. Wow, there are so many choices.
Which ones are probiotics?
Which ones are not bad?
How about the product with Lactobacillus casei Shirota? Yakult contains the probiotic strain Lactobacillus casei Shirota. Enjoy Yakult with your family.
I wanna go, go, go where my baby is. I wanna go where my baby.
You must be Steven's phone.
Now you can take control of your home Wi-Fi and get a notification the instant someone new joins your network. Only with Xfinity XFi. Call, click, or visit a store today.
Y'all know Sizzler's meat is top-notch, but our tender fall-off-the-bone baby back ribs bring eating a meaty meal to the next level. Slow-roasted quarter rack of ribs, your choice of side, and endless salad bar, all for $9.99. See y'all soon.
Watching a 7-ball juggling act is better than your typical car commercial. And so is finding a dealership that really listens. Hey, we hear you.
Next live, Queen Latifah from The Little Mermaid Live takes us
Under the Sea.
Crest. Monday at 10 a.m. on Fox 13.
This is Fox 13 News.
A Marine Corps veteran who almost lost his life in the Middle East recently received an incredible gift.
Now, Fox 13's Amy Nay shows us how one nonprofit is changing this local veteran's life.
On behalf of the Gary Sinise Foundation, our sponsors, our donors, and everyone that's helping us make this house possible, this is going to be your new house, buddy.
They're giving back to someone who has given so much, sacrificing for our freedom.
Sir, it's an honor to meet you, man. Honor to meet you.
Jonathan Blank served as a staff sergeant in the Marine Corps until 2010, when he lost both of his legs after an IED exploded on his unit in Afghanistan. But that injury has not changed this avid hunter and skier's love of life one bit.
I feel like maybe it was kind of destiny for a recon Marine that thrived on challenges, to be challenged the rest of his life, to kind of stay hungry for it. But you know, some days it just gets old.
Blank decided to change that by applying for the RISE program by the Gary Sinise Foundation, founded by the actor who played Lieutenant Dan in Forrest Gump. The program helps build mortgage-free, adaptive, smart homes for veterans and first responders. Then 10 months ago, Jonathan got the phone call of his life from none other than Gary Sinise himself.
I was accepted, and he told me to save his number and to call him anytime.
We're excited to be here to build this specially adaptive smart home with you.
The state-of-the-art home will allow Blank to do things that would have taken a lot of time, all with the push of a button on an iPad.
So I want things to be subtle, like subtle enough to help me, but not to where you come in and see like, oh, this is for someone in a wheelchair.
We hope that it will make your life easier and give back just a small portion of the independence that you've gained for us and the independence you lost that day nearly 9 years ago.
And they know something like this is going to change my life. And I think I'll have to pick up some new hobbies because of all the time I'll be saving cleaning the house and dragging stuff around. So.
Blank's home will be built in the Berge Hills of Midway. It is expected to be done sometime next year, and he says when it is finished, he wants to invite family and friends and his buddies still in the Marines all over for an extended vacation. By the way, if you feel like you've seen Staff Sergeant Blank in the news recently, you have. He went viral, you'll remember, back in August after climbing to the summit of Mount Timpanogos with the help of one of his fellow Marines who let Blank cling on to his back. Quite a thing. Amy Nay, Fox 13 News, Utah.
All right, let's get to your forecast. I don't know if you want to see this, but boy, we are in for some very cold temperatures over the next few days. Today, of course, the cold front hitting yesterday, dropping temperatures. We only made up in the low 40s in Salt Lake City. On average, we should be in the 60s. We will not even be close to that here, again, as we look for the upcoming work week. Now, right now, along the Wasatch Front, we've got temperatures close to freezing. A cold northwesterly flow that will be persistent here, especially as we look for the next few days heading into the middle of the week. Now, we're looking at breaking records, as we mentioned earlier on in our newscast with that story from Elle, where as we look specifically on Wednesday, the coldest October temperature, which was set back in 1971, was 16 degrees. We're going to beat that for Wednesday morning lows, and the afternoon highs only reaching 30 degrees, where the coldest temperature there was 35. So yeah, it's a cold snap, and it begins to happen at least starting towards tomorrow into Tuesday. Now, right now, watches and warnings, we're still holding on to a fire weather warning. Wind still fairly persistent in St. George. That should expire here over the next hour or so. As we look, wide-range satellite radar showing with the cold front moving down through southern Utah. It is producing some showers, a lot of it snow, from Page up over towards Moab. Areas such as Monticello, potentially in the Blanding overnight, could see those showers. Wasatch Front, things have been winding down. We saw little lake enhancement showers impacting Tooele County. That's beginning to wane right now. We actually will get a break from the showers as we look towards tomorrow. This cold front pushing through, but to replace it, another one lining up. It looks like it'll start moving through early Tuesday morning, and that is bringing some cold Canadian air, again, socking in as we look towards Tuesday, Wednesday as well. Now, with that additional front, what about the chances of snow? As we do see those snow showers across southeastern Utah, tomorrow, no concerns. Both for your morning commute as well as we progress throughout the afternoon. Not a concern through the afternoon commute, but Monday night through Tuesday, we start to see mountain snow showers developing. Tuesday morning, early, the next wave hit. That brings showers even along the Wasatch Front. It is snow into the southern Wasatch Front into central Utah as well. with colder temperatures, cold at the surface, we are expecting to see accumulations in the mountains, potentially 8 to 10 inches. Valleys probably anywhere between 1 to 3 inches, and it should stick on the roads. The storm clears out by Tuesday night, so that's the next round, and it will bring that colder air. Tonight, it's teens and 20s for many locations, some single digits like in Cedar City, Park City as well. We'll throw in a chance of showers in eastern and southeastern Utah. Tomorrow, temperatures once again even colder than today, 30s to low 40s for the Wasatch Front, only make it up to 31 degrees in Vernal, mid-50s in St. George. You're staying dry, sunny, but cool, even colder on Wednesday, warming up nicely for the weekend. Northern Utah, that snow on Tuesday. Wednesday, we're clear. It's very cold. Overnight lows in the teens. We're back into the 50s for the weekend, but brace yourself here for the first few days of getting that winter weather.
He's back in Utah after one of the most difficult assignments in U.S. government. Outgoing U.S. Ambassador to Russia, John Huntsman Jr., is weighing his options at this point. With ambassadorships in China and Singapore as well, a run for president, and service as Utah's 16th governor, he has plenty of options. But the one getting the most attention right now is whether he should try to get his old job back as Utah's chief executive. And that's where we started when we sat down this week and I asked him 3 questions. In trying to decide whether to run for governor, what are the specific factors that you are weighing? You're talking about adding value, but what specifically are you talking about?
Well, first you have to say, is it good for your family? Because family is the centerpiece of our existence. You know, is it something that Mary Kay wants to do? Because being a first lady, as we know, is a big part of it, and she did such a great job. So you check that box and say, okay, that's good. That was a positive. And your kids have to take the ride too. So you have to say, are you in or not? And you have to have very frank conversations with all of them. Some of my kids don't much like politics, so you have to check in with them to see if it's okay. And then you have to say, okay, with Utah at a pivot point, at an inflection moment, do you have the skill set and do you have the understanding of the most important issues that we'll face around the bend to be able to provide the leadership and the policy value added to where you can leave the state ahead as opposed to behind once you leave the job, if you choose to do it. So all of those things have to be factored into the mathematical equation, so to speak.
President Trump asked you to take over as the U.S. ambassador to Russia right as the relations between the U.S. and Russia were kind of spiraling down to a low point in the last few decades.
Right.
How difficult was that for you, and what specifically were the challenges that you faced?
I remember getting a call from the president in August 2017, just before my confirmation hearing. And he said, your job has just gotten infinitely more difficult. This is when sanctions were applied, and Congress basically took over ownership of all the sanctions, of which there are almost 900 today, toward individuals and entities in Russia. And he was right. You know, it was, when I left to take the job, mission impossible. And we tried to make it a mission possible. We haven't seen a bilateral relationship that has seen so much destruction back and forth. I don't think in recent history you can go well into the Cold War before you find another example of where we kicked so many diplomats out of each other's embassies and consulates and saw this kind of deterioration in the bilateral relationship. But it was done for a reason. It was done because of election meddling in 2016, which was very real. It was done because of the Russians' poisoning of a citizen in the UK, Sergei Skripal, and his daughter Yulia, and for the overall malign activities that have been promulgated against our friends and allies in Europe. These are very real issues, to say nothing of the incursions into eastern Ukraine, where there's an ongoing civil war and people still dying almost every day. So if the United States doesn't respond, nobody's going to respond.
In the most recent poll, the majority of Utahns are dissatisfied with President Trump's performance in office. Should he be reelected?
Well, we'll see. That'll be up to the American people.
In your view?
Well, when you look at the results, I think you have to differentiate, because I think a lot of folks in this state, because I know politics in this state, I know a lot of people in this state, I think they look at the attitude part of it, the personality part of it. And I think that rebuffs them a little bit. The way that Trump does business, the way that he calls people out, the way that he tweets, the way that he picks fights, seemingly so randomly. We haven't seen that in a president, maybe not since Andrew Jackson. And Twitter wasn't around during Andrew Jackson's time, so we don't know how people responded back then. So that's one part of it. The other part is stewardship of the economy. It's conduct of foreign affairs, which, you know, you can argue a lot of different ways. He's the first president to go after China on trade complaints. We've known there have been violations of China's trade obligations for years, but nobody's ever thought to go after them because they're still growing. And by the way, we need to let them mature and become more like us. Well, we're finding in both the case of the Chinese and the Russians, they're not inclined to want to become more like us. They're their own model, their own nation state, their own culture. And we're going to be in conflict with them for as far as the eye can see into the future. We'll collaborate, but we'll also have serious moments of conflict. And the key will be, do you have a chief executive who can avoid war?
Jon Huntsman Jr., former ambassador to Russia, China, Singapore, former presidential candidate, and former governor of Utah. Thank you so much.
And failed keyboard player.
Not in the slightest.
But we'll get together and put that to the test.
That'll
right,
be fun. Thanks so much for being part of 3 Questions.
Great pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Keeping an eye on Tuesday, Breck.
Yeah, more snow into the forecast and then really cold temperatures thereafter.
Especially for those trick-or-treaters.
Oh, it's not good.
Okay, thanks, Breck, and thanks for watching Fox 13 News at 9.
Don't go anywhere. Sports Page is still ahead. Have a great night. We'll see you next weekend.